Hey folks, Prometheus here, coming at you live from my kitchen. Welcome to my first ever knife review here on at Army's Cantina. I figured since it's my first review here, we're going to take a look at a pretty special knife. That being the ever popular Para-Military 2 from Spyderco. This particular one is an exclusive run, which means it differs from the regular production run of the knife in that there are manufacturers that will request specific makeups of it, blade steels, handle scales, etc. And Spyderco will produce those knives for the distributor. Will then buy them all and then distribute them through their own channels. So a little bit different. Spyderco also does sprint runs, which is the same premise, but they're all of Spyderco's design rather than requested by an outside source. So anyways, Para-Military 2, very, very popular knife. As of the time of this taping, which is April 1st, 2013, you can't find them anywhere. It's insane. They are out of stock all over the place. You can find them on eBay pretty much for some ridiculous prices. Or every once in a while you can get lucky, like I did. And I scooped this one up. So anyways, let's get into it here. I'm sure you're sick of looking at the box. So, this is it. The Para-Military 2 here, of course. And then it comes with a little bit of educational material here. Education, cute. And this just basically goes on to describe the exclusive run thing, the differences in blade steel, yada yada yada. So, kind of nice to read through. So there that is. And then of course we have the knife. This is, like I said, this is a very popular model. Everybody who has one seems to love it. I was a little curious as to, why people loved it so much, so I decided to pick one up for myself. And it was becoming clear the more I handled it. So, a few specs on the knife here. It's got a 3.42 inch blade, so just under 3.5 inches. The cutting length, slightly shorter because of the choil here. It's at 3.04 inches. Overall length of 8.24. And a weight of 3.9 ounces, so just under a quarter pound. So, lighter than a McDonald's cheeseburger. Which for a knife of this size is actually pretty impressive. It feels light in your hand, given the overall size of it. So, we'll start off here. We'll talk about the handle first. This one is in earth brown. G10, the earth brown being part of the exclusive run package. I think it goes really well with the knife. A lot of people didn't care for it all that much, but I think it looks handsome and kind of makes it stand out amongst the sea of black knives out there, So, brown G10, it's got kind of a medium grippy texture on it. Might even say medium light. It's really it's comfortable. It's not overly grippy, but I kind of prefer that as opposed to something like, Cold Steel's G10, which will shred your pocket under the pocket clip here, or maybe even your hands if you're really aggressive with your knives. It's very rough stuff. But this is nice. This is, like I said, kind of a medium fine grip texture to it. It's kind of contoured here, so it's very, very comfortable in the hand. Fits in there real nice. Got the thumb ramp back here, of course, with the nice jimping on it. Lock your thumb in. And the finger choil up here, should you like to choke up for kind of more fine, delicate work, maybe, digging out splinters or cutting up coupons or, something of that nature. And just as comfortable choked up as it is, kind of a relaxed standard grip there. Very comfortable handle. Got drilled out holes on the four corners here for your pocket clip. It's for a reversible left, right, tip up, tip down. Doesn't really matter. Whichever way you're comfortable, you can throw the clip there. Got the open back pillared construction, which makes for easy cleanup of your knife if you have it, you know, in kind of a wet or a sandy or muddy, whatever environment. Makes cleaning that up real easy. Let's see if you can see in here. Kinda, you got skeletonized stainless steel liners here, the full length. The skeletonization, of course, to help cut down on the weight, but the liners are there to strengthen the knife. So that skeletonization there really helps with weight, believe me. Have some full linered knives that are considerably heavier than this, so that's really nice. The clip, speaking of which, it's a pretty standard. This is pretty much the standard Spyderco stainless steel. They call it the hourglass pocket clip. It's kind of got that shape if you look at it, but functions now holds nice and tight to your pocket. Easy to get in and out one-handed. Works really well. Of course, it sits about yay deep in your pocket, so you got a little bit sticking up, but that's, you know, that's good. You can get a grip on it, pull it out. Got the oversized lanyard hole in the back here. Should you prefer to attach lanyards to your knives, I don't really care for it myself, but it's there and completely functional. The locking mechanism on this is the compression lock, they call it. Probably being because it's compressed between the blade tang and the stop pin. It functions basically just like a reverse liner lock, really, where a liner lock would come in from the bottom and wedge itself behind the tang there and absorb negative pressures from the blade spine that way, kind of back into the lock there. This one works in reverse. Negative pressures are forced through the tang, up through the locking bar, into the stop pin, and then throughout the handle. Similar to the triad lock on cold steel, except that's a lockback. But the mechanism's the same. It all gets transferred into the stop pin and then through the frame of the knife. So very, very strong. Real easy to operate, and it's good because it keeps your fingers out of the blade channel here when you're closing it. You just push it out of the way like you would a regular liner lock, and the blade swings closed. You can even do it one-handed through gravity. Just kind of move it and the blade will fall on its own. So that's convenient. Makes for a real easy one-handed operation. Speaking of which, we got the trademark spider hole there. This one's enlarged, I think they say 14.5 millimeters, so real easy to get your thumb in there. Wearing gloves don't matter. You get a nice sure purchase on that blade there, and flips right open. Nice and smooth. It's got, I think, some phosphor bronze washers in there, some bushings to aid in deployment. So nice and fast. It's got solid lock when it opens, that compression lock, which is really nice, by the way. I'd have to say it's probably one of the stronger locks I found in knives, despite the fact that it looks kind of flimsy. It's really not. It's very well built, very well designed, and a lot of people love it. It's probably surpassed only by the Benchmade Access lock, which operates on a whole different mechanism, but it's got that nice reassuring feel to it. And you can also do that one-handed, which is kind of neat. That'll come in a later review. But anyways, so nice fast opening. Then we got the blade here. The blade is 0.15 inches thick here at its thickest point, and tapers all the way down to a nice tip here. And then the side you get the full flat grind there, which of course aids in your slicing, because it reduces drag, and then you don't have that, you know, the grind starting from halfway down here, so it can be a little more gradual as it goes up, so it makes slicing a lot easier. This particular model of the Para-Military 2 comes in CPM S35VN, which is very similar steel to S30V. Same company and everything. Crucible makes that, and it's good. It's very good. A lot of people are saying it's more of a sidestep from C30V or S30V, excuse me. And really that the whole point of manufacturing it was to make the maker's life easier, because it's easier to machine. But I don't know. I don't know if I completely agree with that. If you're really interested, I'll put the chemical makeup here, this below in the in the description, and we'll put up S30Vs in there as well, so you can just kind of compare them and see the differences yourself, should you be so inclined. But according to the paperwork, the big difference is the addition of niobium, which is supposed to increase, edge retention and hardness and all that, and it does hold an edge very well. I've been carrying this for a couple of months now, and I haven't had to touch it up at all. It's still got the factory edge on it. In fact, I got some paper here. Hopefully, I can do this properly, that you can get an idea of how it operates here. But, goes right through that paper. I found up a little there. I think that was my fault. But this is still. Yeah, I'm failing miserably here now. But at any rate, this is still the. After a couple of months of use, it's still able to do this. So that's pretty impressive. I've not touched it up at all. So that gives you an idea, kind of. Aside from my terrible form and botching that a couple of times, it's still extremely sharp for a factory edge that hasn't been touched at all after 2 months. So very impressed with that. Blade shape, kind of briefly went over anyway. It's a modified clip point, so it's a good general purpose. Nothing too fancy, no real like reinforced tip or any of that. It's a very, very good all-around kind of blade shape. Very good for EDC, obviously, and I suppose in a pinch you could use this as kind of a tactical self-defense, whatever. I hate using that word, tactical, quite honestly. Unless, you're in the military or law enforcement or something, you shouldn't really need to worry about tactical. But, should your life ever be in danger if you're walking the street or something, any knife is better than no knife, but this'll, this thing won't let you down, I promise. It's very well designed for that sort of thing. You get the thumb ramp here, so if you're kind of, your thumb won't slip forward, you don't really have to worry about your hand moving up onto the blade. You get a nice solid grip. So definitely, not a bad tool to have in that situation. But again, of course, the best policy is avoidance altogether. So if you can, absolutely. But if you have to, it's there, and I think it'll serve you very well. This design came about when a journalist had talked to the owner, the founder of Spyderco, Sal Glesser. I think I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but Sal, we'll call him. And then he asked, if he had to send his son off on deployment overseas, what kind of knife he would send with him. And his answer was to create the Spyderco Military, which looks pretty much exactly like it, except bigger. And it has a regular liner lock rather than the compression lock. But that knife was a huge hit, but people were, they're like, well, this knife is great, but it's way too big to be carrying around every day, we could use something smaller. So Sal and his son Eric, their marks actually right here on the blade, and this is Sal and that's Eric there. They got together and redesigned it and shrunk it down a bit and came out with this. And, as I said in the beginning here, this is probably their most popular model, I think. It's impossible to find right now, like I said, as of the time of this recording. So that speaks to its popularity right there. And like I said, I've been carrying this for a couple months, and it's performed wonderfully at everything I've asked it to do so far. Opening mail, cutting boxes, cutting rope, zip ties, that sort of stuff. Pretty much anything you would encounter in your day-to-day activities that you would need a quality blade for. It has yet to have an issue with any of that. And as shown by the paper cutting test there, after a couple of months, it bind up a couple of times, but that's still a hell of an edge for having been used for 60 days without any sort of touch-up on it. So, yeah, basically, there you have it. That is the extremely popular and wonderfully performing, well-built, solid Spyderco Para-Military 2, and is absolutely worth it to add at your collection, if you can find one. Hopefully, they claim they're trying to produce them as fast as they can, and that you know, they'll be shipping them out as soon as they get them built. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. You'll be able to find these pretty much everywhere again, and won't have to pay ridiculous eBay prices for it. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching my review. Like I said, it's kind of my first one. I'm still getting the hang of this whole thing, so comments, criticisms, constructive, please. All that are more than welcome, and there'll be many more reviews to come in the weeks and months ahead. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching, and yeah, leave any questions or comments below, and I'll try to get to them when I can. Thanks for watching. Prometheus out.